Hey everybody, and welcome back to another weekly upload, this one being for the correct weekend. I, of course, am Carl, and we are back with another episode of Vacuum Exposition, where we take a look at another vacuum cleaner that is important to either history or myself. So, we are taking a look at another really cool one I'm sure you've seen in the thumbnail. It is one that I haven't actually gotten to yet, but, we are coming along, and we'll take a look at this one today, and maybe take a look at another version of it later, if you know what I mean. But anyways, this, of course, is the second video of the weekend. I know probably some of you watched the one previous to this, and heard my little spiel, and let you guys know that I've been really busy lately, which is why, unfortunately, I missed my upload date last week, and, well, kind of why I've missed my upload date, yesterday, which is now today, but we are now in Labor Day, so I have Monday off, so today off from my job, so that allows me to get caught up on some stuff. So I, of course, am getting some videos out for you guys, but we won't dwell too much on that today. And as you probably saw, we are still working on the storage unit, so another video for that will be coming up probably in the next week or so. So not sure yet. I got a lot more work that I need to get done over there, and a lot more things that need to be hung up, if you know what I mean. Anyways, let's get on to our video for today and take a look at another really cool machine. All right, everybody, so we have a very interesting canister machine to take a look at today. Now, what we are looking at is one of Electrolux's big tanks that came out in about the early to mid 50s time frame. Now, Electrolux, as many know, was a door-to-door sales operation from Electrolux. They were a company that have come out in a few other countries, Sweden, the UK, as well as the United States. And, they made fantastic canister vacuum cleaners that have been known and regarded worldwide to be some of the longest lasting canisters in existence, which makes sense because this one is from the early 50s. Now, what we have here, what we're looking at, is a very special machine to me. Now, this is about a 1954 Electrolux model LXI, or 61. I say 61 for a very specific reason that we'll take a look at in a second here, but this machine came out kind of on the cusp of technological advancement with Electrolux, and by that I mean we had things like automatic bag evacuation devices, and then we were right on the peak of introducing more electric power nozzles. So the little switch or plug that would go in right up here that some salesmen even would put in on these machines so that you could use a power nozzle with it, even though this is not designed to have said power nozzle. Now, the LXI was essentially the using up of the old stock from the LX or Model 60. The Model 60 was famous for having a system that when the bag would get full, this front door right here would open, as you can see right here. And what it would essentially do is the vacuum system in here would kick the bag out, and thus you would have the bag taken out and changed and ready to go, so that you could put in a new one. So I'll put that back in here. Now, this was a very cool machine. A lot of people love this, and it stuck around for a very long time. This was actually the very first Electrolux vacuum cleaner that I ever saw in person as a wee little kid in a thrift store. I did not buy that one, unfortunately, and, well, my dad did not want to get another vacuum cleaner for me at that time. But I digress. This machine still is really cool. I actually have a Model 60 in my collection, very similar to this, I might add, that is in really nice shape as well. But this one has a little bit more special of a meaning, and we'll talk about that in a little bit here. But the reason why, the big difference between this and the Model 60 is going to be on the side here. So, as we can see, it says Electrolux in chrome right down the side. Now, this was the biggest difference, noticeably, between this and the Model 60, because the Model 60 actually, this whole area was cut out, and there was a acrylic or plastic insert that would go in from the back that would say Electrolux in all yellow with red lettering on it. And I'll show an ad that actually shows the Model 60 right here. Now, as you can see, very different when it comes to this, but overall the same style of the machine, the same look, basically looked all the same, which makes this machine so interesting because it was kind of boxy and everything. But when they went to change this machine, essentially what they did is they took the existing machine and they had to change the die on it when they were stamping the side panel. So essentially what you would get is it would, stamp down the name, whereas it used to just stamp a big hole right there, Now, in my opinion, the Model 61 was a little bit more of what they called a special model, so one that was almost like more budget friendly to the current machine that was top of the line. Now, while the Model 60 was top of the line, you started seeing things like, the Model E or the Model AF, which were also concurrent models that were coming through. And they were producing things that had power nozzle receptacles on them. So this machine was largely getting outmoded, and thus why they needed to kind of cheapen it down a little bit by adding the just stamped Electrolux instead of having that fancy insert that went in on it. This machine also, on the earlier models, would have had things like additional wheels put on the back so you could wheel it around a little bit easier. This one does not have that. Now, this one also would have been outfitted with a cord winder on the back over there, which was a wheel inside of a circular case that would have a spring so that the cord would wrap itself back inside. This one looks like it might have been vacuum shop rebuilt because the cover that allows you access to the cord right here was painted silver at some time. And then a regular cord was just attached in its place. There's also some more silver paint on the bottom. Don't quite know why. It was definitely applied very cheaply. So at some point, this one was redone and outfitted and sold as a pretty nice vacuum cleaner. So, which is why I'm kind of leaving it the way it is rather than trying to restore it back to original. Now, when they were advertising the model LXI or 61, they did have to do some additional changes to things like the manual. Now, normally speaking, if a vacuum cleaner company was doing a manual for a machine, they would, and they went through some mid-production changes. They might add a page in the manual or retract a page or something like that. With this one, all they did was take the original Model 60 manual and recolor it right here so that it looked like this machine instead of an earlier version, which I'll show that manual right here. As you can see, virtually the same thing, of course, with just some minor printing adaptation. So very, very interesting all the same. Now, the reason why I have this machine, it is very special to me. Now, I actually just got this vacuum. It is a recent acquisition, so maybe you could call it a vacuums rescued. But I was given this by a very, very close friend and mentor that I've had for, probably the better part of about 20 years. Now, I volunteer at a car museum, and my mentor, who's been there since long before the inception of the museum, he's always known that I have had vacuum cleaners in my collection and has always asked about them. Being as I work for a car museum, it's, kindred spirits. But when I arrived for our annual show, I went to go visit him, and he said, well, I have a vacuum for you, and sitting out in the back of that Model T truck. And I went, and there sat this. So I have not received many vacuum cleaners from the museum when I go down there, but if I ever do get them, I definitely keep them and treasure them. But this particular one, being from somebody that I consider very, very important to my personal history and at my growing up, basically, because I'd been volunteering with the museum since I was a little kid, really. So when I got it, I wanted to make sure that when I got it and kind of fixed everything up, that I left it just the same way that I got it. So make it look nice, make it run good, make it function, but leave it the way it was. Now, the cord that it had was not even put in it. It was just kind of laid across it, and it was like some lamp cord. Was not meant for a vacuum cleaner. So I took an existing white cord because I figured that kind of went along with it. The hose is over there, and we'll take a look at that in our run demo, but kind of goes with it and overall looks really nice as far as I can tell. I know that it was supposed to have that cord winder feature on the back, but being as that was how it was fixed, maybe the cord winder broke at some point, and you know, maybe because this was getting up in years when it was fixed, that they just figured that it would be easier just to make a cord and just kind of have it wrap up next to it just like that. It did need a little bit of help. You know, the original floor tool, like all of the original rubber bumpers, had just disintegrated over the years, so that's a little haggard looking. It came with an earlier rug tool anyways, so maybe someday I'll find the right one, but either way, it's perfect just the way it is. It was used well, it was cared for, and then it was bestowed upon me, somebody who I was entrusted with this machine, so I am very, very thankful for that, and for that, it is one that is going to stay in my collection in the current state that it is. And well, I hope it makes my mentor very proud. So now, of course, we had our big annual show this year, so it just kind of met the perfect time frame for me to do a video on this one. So very special, and of course, definitely deserved its time in the spotlight. So, but let's get on to our run demo for today and see how the old Model 61 does on the floor. All right, everybody, so we have the 1954 Electrolux Model 61 all plugged in and ready to go. As you can see, it's got the original hose with it. Very, very nice. A little bit dirty, but, you know, for the amount of work that it's put in over the years, it is definitely deserving of a few battle scars here and there. Of course, we also have our floor tool right here. As you can see, it is missing its bumpers kind of up there, but that's okay. It kind of gives it a little bit of character anyways. And if we find the original one for it eventually someday, great. If not, no big deal. But let's see how this thing does. Well, the little Model 61 did great. And I mean, why wouldn't it? This thing has survived so many years and years and years, decades, if you will, of faithful service to the home. Now, it's lost a few things over the years, you know, certain attachments. It's a cord winder on the back and then some. But, you know, it's always held up. It's always done its job. It's always been, you know, a usable tool for the home. And in so, it has retained a lot of its originality. Now, it isn't all original. I will say that. I will say that it is missing quite a bit. In addition to what I have here, I do still have an original Electrolux dusting brush with kind of the same stage as the floor tool right here, where it's missing those bumpers. But, you know, this machine is in such great shape, and it was rebuilt at some point, don't know when, but it was mostly rebuilt to keep this thing on the, well, the floor, if you will. So I hope you enjoyed our little run demo for today. Well, everybody, we've come to the end of another one, and our last video for this week, of course. So thankfully, I will be having a lot more time in the next few weeks to get things kind of put back together so that I can get back on my regular schedule. Of course, we'll be still working on the storage unit, so we will be taking a look more at that. I plan on having another video out about that in the next couple weeks here. But either way, I had a blast today with this machine. It is a very interesting one. The story, of course, being that it is a Model 61, not a 60. So one of the last of the iterations of the Model 60. But this one has had a life. Don't know necessarily if you want to call it a good life or a bad life, because I didn't have it for that long. But this one being around since the mid-1950s, it has definitely seen a lot in its day. But it has been kept running. It has been kept up and functional and, well, a very valuable piece of the home. Now, it may not have all of its necessary goods to go with it, but it still has plenty of suction to do the floors in my little apartment here, and well, still looks really cool. Now, this one, of course, will be living in my private collection. Very, very special piece, being as that it was given to me by a very, very important person in my life. So I am very, very thankful to have it. But it is something that I definitely wanted to share with you guys today. And being as it was just given to me, well, it is very, very cool and very, very special, and I, well, don't intend on letting it go. So, and now it can live a very nice and happy retirement with me, very much like that Montgomery Ward's SP4030 that we talked about in the video prior. So, but I hope you guys all enjoyed our little video today. Of course, if you liked the video, definitely hit that thumbs up button. If you want to hear more about when I get my videos out, of course, ring the little bell icon as well, because I will be back again with different vacuums, of course, in a different place maybe, or the same place. We don't know yet. It's this week, not next. But we will catch you again next time with, of course, the same guy, and we'll take a look at more vacuums in the future. So you guys have a great rest of your week, and of course, a great Labor Day, and we will catch you again next time. Have a great rest of your day, y'all.